Okay, say good morning, doggies. Oh, it's the morning doggies. They were just barking at Nero, this really ugly dog down the street. These two gang stalkers. I felt bad for her, actually. Should have humanized her. You know that obese pig who walks Nero? Well, I have, there's, Zeph's daughter struggled with her weight. I never met her. Zeph is fat. There are fat people I like. My dad was fat for a while. He lost weight really suddenly. We laughed how quickly he lost weight. My friend and I, he had some special method. He was like a scientist type person, and he had some special method. I don't know what he did, but he got skinny in like a month or something. He lost weight at like the rate you would while you water fast, basically. Anyway, so today I'm smoking weed in the morning, and I'm gonna try to decide if it makes me retarded, because I kind of think it does. So I just woke up right now. I haven't smoked, and this is my second or third day in a row smoking, like vaporizing. And when I get high, I feel like I'm really smart. Like, I feel like I'm a genius. And I have a feeling that when I'm not high and I look back at my high self, I'll be like, actually, you weren't a genius. That song you wrote while you were high wasn't genius. That poem you wrote, it was actually mediocre. And you only think that you're like super, lit, amazing, next level when you're high, because you're so stupid that you're high that you don't even realize that it's not a big deal. But maybe when you're high, you're better. Maybe I feel like happier and stuff. I feel happier now. ChatGPT says that's true. That is true. You're stimulating happy chemicals when you're getting high, but the thing is, you're not going to be able to do that forever. You're actually, like, I would never try to do LSD every day. Like, never. Like, that's just fucking stupid. But in the same, because it doesn't work. But in the same way, though, I'm getting high now for the third day in a row, I think. It's either the second or the third day in a row. I can't even remember. How fucked up is that? And it's not the same as the first time. It's not the same. It feels now like I'm not even getting high. And I'm like, you know what? Weed is actually the same as LSD. Like, you actually can't do it every day. If you want to do weed successfully, you have to do it like once. What you're doing is you're putting this in it to up the dose. You're putting concentrate in it to up the dose to try to get the first time you were high again. But it's not the same. And the more you do it, the less effect it's going to have. And that's why you quit. Do you remember when you quit, how happy you were? And you said, I can't smoke because I get paranoid. And yeah, kind of. But you know what it really was? That you stink like shit. That your fucking breath stinks. And you're fucking dirty. You're coughing up shit. It's fucking disgusting. Smoking is gross. Vaping, and you got stuff in your throat. It's fucking gross. And you come in and your face is all red. You go, and your fucking eyes are bloodshot. You look like you just put a bucket on your head and hit yourself with a hammer. Like, you look fucked up. And you're trying to get that first time you were high, which you'd have to wait like a week or probably more. You probably have to wait a couple weeks to get that again, to feel like something really crazy. And Osho says that too. He says if you do drugs, wait like a month, and then when you do it, it's gonna really snap you out of your hypnosis, and something actually effective will happen. But just dragging on it, it's not the same. Okay, so anyways, We're about to go out and smoky. But first, I have to take a shit, which I already did. So while I take a shit, I'm gonna heat up the vaporizer. It's level 5. You can have doggy cam or no cam. You're gonna have no cam. Okay, so basically when I'm high, I say, I'm really special and I'm really great. And then when I'm sober, I say, when you're high, you're actually not special and not great, you're just normal. And you're kind of arrogant, actually. And my high self says, no, I'm not arrogant. I'm just not trying to do performance like you. You're trying to perform, like, act really smart and act really cool. And as my high self, I accept that I'm a retard. And it's totally cool. Like, I'm not smart. I'm actually stupid. I'm not talented. I'm truly not talented. I'm truly not good at writing a song. Like, I actually don't have artistic merit like I like to believe that I do if I just get my diet right and you know, eat enough apples, that finally my artistic merit is gonna blossom. And when I'm high, I'm like, no, you're not even talented. And it doesn't matter. You could be happy. You could be stupid and you could be happy. Being stupid doesn't ruin your life. And so the point of being high is that you accept yourself. That's like the magic of it. What you call arrogance is self-acceptance. I mean, you can't even do little wins. Like, your non-high self is so self-criticizing that unless you, like, reinvent the wheel, you're not even proud of yourself. But as your high self, you just pick up a little bit of garbage here, you just clear out a couple cans from your room, you make your bed, you do the tiniest wins, and you're enjoying the process of that. You're not thinking in a goal-oriented sort of way. And ironically, you're actually making more progress when you're not thinking like that. I'm trying not to burn my lungs. I used to do huge inhalations with this, like a minute long. I'd oxygenate my blood, I'd do like special breathing. What I learned is just because it's a vaporizer doesn't mean it's not burning your lungs. But if I wanted to get really high, I would have to actually harm myself. I would actually have to take a big, long inhalation that would really hurt, and I'm actually considering that. And I kind of have to shit again. I don't know what that's all about. I just shit twice. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, you think you're done, and then you got more. I don't know what's the deal. See, this is painful. This is actually painful. Maybe just little inhalations. And then hold them in for a long time. And now I could turn the heat up too. Make it even worse. I don't feel different. You know, I feel like I'm still sober. It literally stops working. Literally, if you smoke weed and take a 6-month tolerance break, after the first time you smoke weed, you're already incapable of getting high the second time. Literally. You smoke weed once, the second time you can't get high. For real. And if you think otherwise, you're just not paying close enough attention. You need at least like 1 or 2 weeks. Weed is like acid. You actually need 1 or 2 week tolerance break before you do it again, for real, or else you're just a junkie. Which of course we are. But not me, I might be quitting. Okay, if I want to do it, I'll do it. If I want to keep smoking weed, I'll keep smoking weed. But it might actually be fucked up, you know. I might actually quit for a reason. I just had to flush 2 times, and this is one of the problems of eating cooked food. When you eat raw food, you'll only ever have to flush the toilet once, because you don't have like really hard shit or something. I don't know why. Our toilet's just fucked up. You know, someone was saying we have to flush your toilet twice. I have to flush your toilet twice whenever I'm at your house. I thought, yeah, right. And then later on, I was like, actually, you're right. I don't know what the deal is with their not being able to flush it. I don't know why, if it's just coincidence, but I think you actually have different density shit based on if you eat cooked or raw food, and it actually makes you have to flush the toilet twice if you have super dense shit. And you know, that obese woman with Nero, I don't know if I already said this, but I don't judge you for being fat. I don't really think it's even bad being fat, like, so there would be no point in even saying I don't judge. Like, why would you think I judged to begin? Well, because I made an obese joke or something, but that was just an ironic joke. It wasn't really like a joke. It was a different kind of joke. The joke was that I'm not actually judgmental, so I acted like I was. And but if people struggle with their weight, because there's someone I love who I talk to who historically has struggled with their weight, and they've been open about this, and I lost about 40 pounds when I water fasted, and I was going to tell them, but I thought, are you going to think I'm making an indirect comment about your weight? I know you might think that. So even when I was telling them about how much weight I've gained in like the 2 days from eating cooked food, I almost thought they were going to take it as an advertisement for raw veganism. And I relate somewhat with weight. I mean, I've always been really skinny. I've been laughably skinny. There was a girl in high school who I had a crush on her friend, and she said, "Hey, chicken legs," when I was wearing shorts, and I never wore shorts to school, and it really, really bothered me. And then what I found was the only time I thought I looked good is when I'm naked, because then my body fills out properly, like it looks proper. I don't mean I get aroused when I'm naked by filling out. I mean, when I'm naked, I don't have like a bulky t-shirt and then little noodle arms poking out. My whole body looks like a noodle, so somehow it looks more full. And you know, I swear, when you feel special, everything feels different. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. My wiener is not that big. And I had sex with a girl who has fake tits. Really shallow, it seems. Okay, if she's watching and wonders why I'm saying that, it was another comment that you said, another 2 off-color comments, really. But she had really good sized fake tits. I've had a jumbo fake tits and an ordinary fake tits. And the ordinary were much better. In fact, they were so ordinary, I'm wondering, were they actually fake? I think they were, though. But anyways, I would hate that if they weren't. If I'm lying, I would hate that. But I would hate it for other reasons too, because I feel cool that I have had sex with 2 girls with fake tits. But anyways, so she was like, "Oh my god, your dick is so big. Oh my fucking god, it's crazy." And I was like, "No, it's not." But I always felt like she really believed it. Like she was wearing rose-colored Tootsie Roll glasses. There was this other girl from New York who was super hot. She had crazy hips to waist ratio. And she laughed when she felt my dick. And I could tell. And she was so hot. Like she didn't placate me at all. But I think the first one wasn't placating either. And with the second one, I was really begging, and her friend was in bed too and pretending to be asleep. And so I don't know what to say. But last night I was in my weed stone, and my dick felt huge. I was like, wow, it feels big. It was like, feels like really big. And I wasn't faking it. And I was like, man, what's this whole negativity, positivity stuff? Like when you change, the world changes. Tony Robbins said there are people with multiple personality and they can suddenly have a birthmark appear or their eyes change color. Do you believe that? Suddenly you have a different sized dick? Or, I don't really believe that. I believe maybe in one case in the whole world, someone's eyes changed color. I've heard some people's hair go gray all of a sudden in 1 second because they eat a spider or something. I'm redefining language. Sometimes I literally change how I talk so it doesn't make sense, but it makes more sense. Right? Right, Paige and Sparky? We renamed their horrible names. Isn't Faith and Hope horrible names? Isn't that just the worst? Like, you might as well call them like Ping and Pong. Like, this is Ping, this is Pong. That's better. That's actually genius. That's like, okay, maybe that's a joke. That's a joke. But is that better? Ping pong? This is Ping and this is Pong? Okay, is that funny on a lot of different levels? Ping Pong Yulin. Yulin is the dog festival where they torture dogs. Well, that's kind of a sick joke, I felt that joke, it hurt me to say that. I felt dark energy come over me. Like armor of darkness. Almost like, okay, good, that's gonna hurt someone. Someone's gonna be hurt by that. Well, what if it's you? Hey, what if you are the one who want to say it? Because it's like really bad to hurt dogs and torture them. I couldn't imagine, Well, yeah, of course I have imagined. Everyone will see the Yulin Dog Festival, and then you'll imagine your own dog, what it would be like. And then you'll be angry. And yeah, I did imagine that. And I thought, would these dogs become insane? And that's what was kind of really bothering me. If an animal or someone gets tortured until they become insane, that's like really bothersome to me. And so I always think that people I love, and myself included, and dogs and whoever, if they ever were to get tortured, they would never go insane, ever. And, I don't know what the deal is with that. But I know David Blaine says of all the torture he does to his body, which I think is pretty ridiculous. I think it looks almost like someone who does competitive eating. At some point you feel guilty if you keep watching, like you're voyeuristic, and the person you're watching is not self-aware enough that it doesn't count as voyeurism to watch them. And I have a lot of dishes to do. My mind just went blank, so might as well make it productive when you make up some bullshit like you're on the same track. That might be low self-esteem. Oh, wrong way. Trying to always be on, kind of like there's an assumption that you're always about to leave. I gotta keep your attention. And I see people like Russell Brand, and he's like talking like this, and I'm like, are you just like have a mental disorder? Okay, so my mouth is pretty dry. I don't feel like eating. I'm trying to listen to my body right now. I don't know, but sometimes I feel like all this work you're doing, it'll never work. You make fun of people who fast to lose weight, and you think you're more clever than them, but your predicament is actually the exact same as theirs. Because even if you did remove the old waste like you wanted to, like you've been wanting to do for about a decade, you remove the old waste from your small intestine, and then you don't have malabsorption, and then you can do 1,000,000 push-ups, and you're so fit, and people go, wow, I really didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know either. Like, I actually have a hot body now. And they're like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, yeah, I know, you know, etc. And if you're forcing yourself to do that, you are. Let's just laugh at what you're thinking. You're thinking you're going to be so hot going, yeah, I know. And they go, yeah, I know too. And I'm like, yeah, I know. You think you're going to do that forever? You're going to get bored of that so quick. And you're going to go right back to where you are, which is fuck everybody. You like peace and love. Therefore, you don't have a girlfriend in a matriarch. And you have a good relationship with your friends and family. And you're doing well. By the time I said you're doing well, I had completely forgotten what I was talking about. I wish I could remember. But I'm so zen right now. Like, I was on a roll and really enjoying that. But I'm so zen that I still feel just as on a roll, even though I've come to a full stop. And that was the point, trying to be impressive. You can never come to a full stop. You're always on, and it's always a sales pitch with you. You can't even shut up. You can't even listen. Okay, well, I have a lot of soaking to do. I have magnesium oxide too. I'm afraid. I'm actually afraid of taking magnesium oxide. The biggest dose you can get. It's scary. Some people get stomach cramps. It pulls all your water into your stomach. Magnesium bicarbonate, magnesium citrate. If you have a magnesium supplement, that's most likely what you have. And that easily absorbs into your blood. Or like something like that, into this plasma or something. But magnesium oxide, it stays in your stomach. And it pulls all of the water out of your plasma and out of your cells to go into your stomach, and people get cramps because it hydrates their shit. And I'm like, well, what if I have like a whole ton of shit in my small intestines? And then the normal people who take this are only drinking like 1 liter or 2 a day. I'd be drinking like 6 liters a day. What if I actually remove this old waste and it's not the proper way and it's really painful, etc.? I'm worrying. And but part of me is just saying, this is all ridiculous. Okay, you're literally a fat girl fasting to lose weight because you are not following the natural trend of your intuition and your intelligence, which is in the moment, and it's not goal oriented, but instead it reveals your goals, that your goals are a mystery to you. And as you follow your natural intelligence through small wins, you realize your goals indirectly. And you say, oh, I was always working towards that, and now I can contextualize it, and now I can verbalize it. And it makes sense. You know, I wasn't self-aware to see that motive in me. And ultimately, the nihilists will say, you're just making that up. That's just the meaning you're invented. No scripture from an all-knowing being has been handed down to you that says that's the real meaning. You're just making up whatever you feel like. And it's like, yeah, exactly. There is no meaning except for the meaning that you make, and that means the kingdom of God is within you. That means heaven and hell isn't supernatural. It's just, are you an asshole and therefore your life sucks? Or are you a cool person and therefore your life is good? And the thing about being cool is that as a cool person, when you get scared, not to like be a masochist and make it cool to be scared, but when you get scared, especially if you're scared all the time and you want to be enlightened and scared at the same time, you have to realize that your fear is going to give you a lot of tension, which is going to make you sweat a little bit, and it's going to make you feel cool, actually, literally cool. And you're going to go, oh, so that's what it means to be cool. When you're actually on top of the wave, no matter what, even when it makes you sweat. And the sweat is so minuscule that it comes off as coolness. Could you imagine how funny God is? That when you accept your fear, you actually get rewarded with coolness. And here you were resisting your fear the whole time. And you're like, it's actually not that bad. It's actually just part of life. Like sometimes I'm actually scared. And I want to be in style all the time. I want to believe that God gave me everything I need for every moment of my life, even when I'm scared. And what he gives is balance, so that the wave of fear comes and you're on top of it. And then you're just surfing. And people are like feeding off your good energy. And you're like, there are so many things we're scared of. It's not just like a snake jumping out at you. There are like things that shouldn't even be scary, but they are. Like someone's opinion of you, or someone being passive aggressive, or making a comment about your weight, or you're smoking or something. You know, are you smoking again? Oh, again? You know, something like that. You know, or your finances, or whatever the fuck. You know, someone who wants to give you advice. And well, now I'm embarrassed because I forget what I'm talking about. And now I feel vulgar, actually, like I'm just standing here with my dick out and I'm like I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know where I am. Yeah, well, sometimes you're embarrassed too. And it's not funny. No, you just gotta make it worse by laughing. Why don't you think some taboo thoughts too? Really seal your fate. Some people like a smear campaign against them. That's what I heard on Sam Vaknin's channel. He said narcissists and bullies, if a smear campaign is against them, they love it. Because it makes them the center of attention, it makes them the victim, it gives them constant attention and a narcissistic reframe that they're the hero victim and everyone's always watching them. So the more paranoid they get, the more they write their own, the more they target themselves with a smear campaign, the more grandiose they become. And then paranoia is kind of like method acting. Like if you're actually paranoid, it really feels real to you. And when people say that's paranoid, you say, I know there's a huge conspiracy, which there is, but you could change it. You can use half-truths, like, yes, there is a huge conspiracy. Therefore, every conspiracy I think about that's huge must be true, because somewhere there's a huge conspiracy. Because everywhere there is a huge conspiracy, any of my fantasies must be true. But he talked mostly about the difference between investigative journalism and a smear campaign. And the difference he gave is that investigative journalism is concerned with events. This time, this action happened, and the smear campaign is concerned with tarnishing someone or like attacking their character, attacking them. A smear campaign attacks the person, and an investigative journalism attacks the event. And he just mentioned that by the side, and then he talked a lot about what happens when a normal person is targeted by a narcissist or a psychopath. And he said, smear campaigns are a form of gang stalking. Whoa. That's the second video he's mentioned it. Well, he's political. I still appreciate him. It's the same way you can be non-vegan. I can still appreciate you. And I trust he's a real TI. But that's not really important. I don't even think if he's a TI or a fake TI. I think what he's saying makes sense, whether he's a TI or not. But I think he is. The only reasons I thought he's not is because he said that most TIs are fake. I thought, how do you know that? And he said, gang stalking has happened. It's the real experience of thousands upon thousands of people. I was like, isn't it like tens of millions or hundreds of millions? Or even a billion? Or even more? Even like, you know, everyone's targeted like by, like a third of the population targets 2/3 of the population. And the majority of the 2/3 don't know they're being targeted. And they have a really good conversion rate. Like, everyone on your street, if you're a TI, is a gang stalker. Like, everyone you know, basically, unless they're TI, probably. So, like, 100% of the people you know can be converted into being gang stalkers. Kind of like in The Matrix, like, everyone becomes Agent Smith. Like, if they're in the program, then they become Agent Smith. But... Okay, let's hope this you know, are these noodles too big to put in a vacuum? My sober self would have tried cleaning this up with a dustpan or something. My high self is like, vacuuming is fun. You know, it's the fun that drew you to the vacuum. You know, you're enjoying yourself. Do you understand the profundity of enjoying vacuuming? Not stress relief vacuuming, but going on an adventure. With these stupid dogs' names, we renamed them Sparky and Paige. I do feel a little guilty calling them that, but here comes Paige. Hi, Paige. I do feel bad. Their names are so bad that it makes me laugh, actually. People will be so confused. They'll be like, how did you name those dogs that? Like, that's something I couldn't come up with. If I had sat there for 10 hours thinking, what are the worst names for a dog? I would not be no, hey, you can't eat that. You know, I couldn't think of names as bad as that. And so people are going to be shocked. They're going to be like, how did you think of that? Well, we have a woman coming to do a write-up on Friday about these dogs. In the Elder Dog or whatever, the magazine or something. So she's coming to get to know them. And so maybe they'll get adopted, which I'm going to miss them a lot. Okay, I actually really like them. When you have a German Shepherd, if someone's breaking in, you go, it's cool, it doesn't matter. Not, but like, Not in the sense that you think the dogs will protect you, because they're half border collie too. So they'll just try to herd the person to the door, and but then they'll wag their tail and be nice if they pet them. But the German Shepherd factor is, if someone is there breaking in, they're gonna let you know. The border collie would let you know, but they won't even tell you. The border collie will know, but they won't tell you. But the German Shepherd will tell you. And so last night I was hearing these weird noises at the door, and I was like, oh man, I should really turn my head and look. I was like, I don't need to, because there's some German Shepherds laying on the floor. And then again, sometimes when the UPS delivery comes, the dogs don't even know. they're like, you know, they're actually probably not very good guard dogs. They're fakes. They're like someone who wears a cop uniform, and there are people who impersonate police. I mean, you can see the appeal of it with all the gang stalkers, but there are people who actually dress up literally like a police and get a car just like a police car, and they actually pull people over pretending to be police. And that would be all kinds of weird, you know, when you see that on a YouTube short. This guy got caught pulling people over pretending to be a police. Well, obviously, Cam, kind of giving too much cliff notes here. You might not be you might have stopped listening with the amount of cliff notes that I've given you. I said that to Flesh Simulator. He's like, one of the keys to getting a girlfriend is to already have a girlfriend. And I was like, that's like needing the cliff notes. Like, it doesn't that prove you're a slave? That you need to see that the other person's a retard? Like, that you need to see that the other person is a retard too, I was gonna say. That, yeah, that's implying that to be popular means you're retarded. To be pre-selected means you're retarded, because the only people who would select you are people who will use you as a slave and a matriarch. And they're retarded. Hello. Excuse me. Okay, I don't know what to do. I would spit this in the sink if you weren't here. Okay, I'm gonna do it. It's going right in the middle, down the drain. It's not even touching the normal part of the sink. And just because the camera's here, I'll put soap in it. Well, the garbage is overflowing, and there's no Kleenex left in the Kleenex thing. So, you know, yeah, it's gross, but there's so much gross stuff that goes down the sink. And I have no excuse. I just stopped having fun. I think I'm having fun again. Yeah, okay. So obviously having fun means having a boner. In case you think I'm like trying to be slick. Obviously, that's what I mean. And so the state of sexuality for a healthy person is to be not sexually repressed. Basically, you're always supposed to feel pleasure from your genitals. I'm really sorry to have to be the one to say it, but if you're sexually repressed, that doesn't happen. And it doesn't mean having an erection all the time. And literally, as soon as you stop doing that, and you can stop doing it forever, and that doesn't mean you've transcended sexuality. That means that you're just a horny celibate. That means you've never had sex. Even when you've had sex with someone, it didn't count. You were just using them to masturbate. And even that didn't count. Now, it might be true that when I'm high, I'm cooler, but I'm also more uncooler. That I feel, yes, I'm cooler, and I recognize it. And yes, I'm also inferiority complex, kind of. Self-conscious, self-critical. And now that I feel cooler, suddenly I really want to brag. And I would like to keep bragging, but I do it by accident. And each time I do it, it makes me feel embarrassed or something. It actually makes me feel sexually repressed, I think. It actually ruins my boner. That's really what it does. Why? Because autosexual doesn't rely on anyone. And if I think of anything, validating myself or any kind of interaction, then it's starting an incomplete loop with someone who isn't here but who I'm imagining. And so it's retarded. Because the loop always stays incomplete, and therefore you stay in the bondage forever. You stay soul-tied forever. By fantasizing about someone, you create a soul tie that you can't close. You can only get rid of a soul tie if you've closed it. Now, does that mean you have to sleep with everyone you've had a soul tie with? No, I don't think so. But if you go into autosexuality and you're fine there, you're in that mode, you're already having a good time and you're not needy. So the loop can close because you've closed the loop within yourself first. And then you wouldn't start something you couldn't finish. It would make no sense. You wouldn't say, okay, you're married, but just bend over in front of me, and coded will know that we're both masturbating to each other. And great, it's all great. As an autosexual person who actually has feelings all the time, who doesn't feel needy, therefore, would say that's a horrible idea. That's mutually disrespectful. Why would either of us say that we wish we could, but we'll keep it secret that we can't? Why would anyone do that? You're lying to so many people. That's pathetic. That's humiliating. Don't you have any dignity? Like, doesn't that set off an alarm in your head that says this makes you a really bad person? Or like, this is going to put you in double binds that make you ugly? Or do you just think no one even is capable of perceiving me anyway? I'm lonely at the top. I can fool anyone. No one sees me. I can trick them all, or I don't care maybe, because they're so slave mentality that they'll just do whatever I say regardless. Or they're so mental, like literally crazy. Well, the point of what Sam Vaknin said about the smear campaign, in case you don't want to watch this whole 45-minute video, is that it's always started by a psychopath or something, and it's either a complete, it's always something that's true, but it's taken out of context to the extent that it's a lie. It's something that it's so out of context. Like they catch reactive abuse, and then that's the smear campaign. And then they have certain people who, but I think he may have said sometimes it's an outright lie, but I'm not sure. I think he said it's a myth that smear campaigns are based in lies. They're actually based in adulterated truth. And that might sound bad, but like when you take an example, like someone literally punches you, and then you punch them back, and then they just show a video of you punching them back, and they say, I never punched him. I don't even know that guy randomly attacked me. So it's something like that, where they catch you in some like sneaky way that if people actually knew the context, they would be like, they would have a different opinion, and they might not join and target you either. I think that's somehow part of it, that people actually don't know that, like, the CIA recruiting people is very like common. As you know, I heard that on Tim Dillon's show. I watch little 30-second clips of him sometimes, and he said it's not rare for people to be recruited by the CIA. And it's like, is everyone recruited? Is most people the CIA? Or just most people surrounding someone who's targeted is a CIA, because everyone has the Agent Smith effect, that everyone becomes an Agent Smith except for like 1 or 10% of the people maybe, or even less than that, I don't know. And then most people are therefore NPCs. Like, imagine if there's actually a real world. This is what would get me upset, really. This is my worst case scenario for the meaning of my worst case scenario for like my my sense of like well-being, or like fulfilling my, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The thing that mentally tortures me is, what if there was no majority of people? What if the majority of people were not aware about gang stalking, and I could have a real life? What if that was the case? If not, it's not, because it's different. If everyone's a gang stalker or everyone's a TI, then you think, well, then you basically have to choose. But if there was people who actually can just live in a first world country, and they can, like, and that exists, and I'm living at that time where I could have had that too. Whoa! Well, do I have that? Yeah, I think so. It's I don't know. It's about more than just being terrorized. It's also about how much you take care of your body, which I don't really do that, and it's cool. I mean, I'm happy. I'm not like, oh, I'm so unhealthy. It's not, no, I'm cool. Okay, but I don't want to do anything. I don't want to walk. I want to lay in bed with tubes. Okay. They say what you fear is what you want. Okay, I'm basically saying I want to be a vegetable. But I like having the ability to move as well, if only to have sex. And am I really at that point where I would never open a loop I couldn't close? But I could close it because I'm auto? Yeah, you can close it because you're auto. Or you could keep it open and be drawn to it. I'm done the dishes. Well, maybe a Pilates workout. But I don't think so. Hey, but maybe I should with... Oh my god, I just reminded myself of Helen Hunt. Yeah, I really like her. And the fact that she has an innie, it really suits her character. Okay. And As Good as It Gets, of course, the best movie ever made. Yeah, and was it made by people in the occult? Well, what do you mean by made? You mean the person who funded it? Or do you mean the guy who does the camera work? The person who brings the coffee or whatever? Like, of all the people who are working on it, what percentage of them are on the cult? So is it safe to enjoy a movie that has cult symbology in it? And say, yeah, I fucking love this movie. Yeah. You know, this feels really wholesome. This feels not stupid at all. There's something, well, it does feel a little bit stupid, but only for the second half. But there's a lot of people who look really stupid when they work out. It's like, oh man, you look like you're a CI-10. That means 90% of your penis skin was removed during circumcision. You have the tightest cut. You have pubes halfway up your, 3/4 way up your penis. When you get an erection, your pubes go to the tip of your penis. And you found ways to dip your wick in poison. And that's how you last. But there's nothing there. You got no feeling? Okay. See what kind of car they have parked outside now. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here. We have the lightest strap. Oh yeah, now check my form here. Okay. So this is a deadlift. I sent some video to Google Gemini, asked it how my form is doing. It said, yeah, that's good. Remember to keep your back straight. I think when we think of straight back, we think of not rounding our shoulders, but arching back too much, I think, is also bad. Now that did my squats too. Oh man. The worst of all, the push-ups. I don't want to do those. But we do have to do them. There's a lot wrong with this because my headphones are going to fall off. And push-ups are the hardest. I'll do girl push-ups though. Okay. And then when my headphone falls off, then my microphone falls out of place. These are actually still really good push-ups. Oh yeah, that felt amazing. That was really good. And I can see how a lot of people use working out as their spiritual path, because you're actually testing your meditation while you work out. To do it and enjoy it, there's a lot that goes into that. To be balanced, to not have any foods that make you imbalanced, and to be working out all the time, and each time you practice. Well, I just got it right on the first time, but not that it's always practice anyways. Sometimes you just get it right on the first time every time, and that's why you do anything. And so you're not like meditating by working out, you're just spiritual and you just happen to be working out. Right? Sparky? Hi, Sparky. Sparky, you're so fresh. You're so fresh, Sparky. Yes, you are. Oh, Sparky. Sparky, you're so fresh. Well, I think that about is everything. Oh, Sparky. Sparky looks up at the ceiling all the time. Okay, well, yeah. Well, we should talk about one other thing. Why would you keep reopening and closing loops? Well, because there's a state beyond hetero that is bliss. And you would then argue, if you really wanted to, that, well, once you're feeling bliss, why would you stop opening loops? If you're in bliss, then open loops. Just jackets to everyone who you like, who you can't have sex with. And just do that forever, and it's great. And why wouldn't you? It's fun, isn't it? You don't get hung up on them. And you could have endless variety forever. And the amount of fluid you're losing is negligible. You can have one green smoothie and recover it multiple times. And so what's the problem? What's the shame in it? What are you doing even better with your increased dopamine baseline? Because that's your only argument. If you wanted to, in a secular way, define why masturbation is retarded, you could only say that your baseline of dopamine will go up the more you don't masturbate, and you'll be more happy to do regular things, like when you're stoned. And but if you're in bliss either way, and you can adjust your bliss to where you're at in your low energy, your low dopamine, then why not? Well, because you'd have lower energy, basically. Okay, yeah, but let's then go even more
realistic and say, and you're not blissful. And so what do you really have then? You have happiness, which is not bliss. You have a cultured personality that you know how to get along in life with people. Oh crap, you know what? I think I forgot to do something. I have to email someone. Oh, this really stresses me out, but I'm like superstitious, like I smoked weed, so it's gonna go bad or something. Today is a holiday, so it's fine. Like it's not gonna be a big deal. So, but I was supposed to email them yesterday. Oh, I don't like this. Well, they're nice, in case they're watching. I like them. It's on the superstitious level, I actually have gotten the okay to email them and nothing bad is going to happen. Bad things like they're going to cut off my money. I get government assistance and I'm worried that if I don't try my best to be a good person, they're going to cut off my money. And so I have to report to them, did I make any money this month? And I don't know what to say. Because my mom gave me $50 for babysitting the dogs. Only once. Like I babysit them all the time. But that happened. So I could report that and say I got $50. And that might make her happy. Make her think I'm a good worker. I mean, it's just random. I do watch the dogs. But then my mom got me groceries too. And I don't know how much that cost. But she'd get me presents. Like she'd get me a watermelon. And the more work I do around the house, the more presents I'd get. So I don't know if to report that as income or what. I was supposed to email her on the 15th, and today is the 16th, but it's a holiday. You've already heard this, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just fucking OCD stressing about emailing her. I'm going to put it off till the end of the night. It really upsets me to have to take these kind of risks that I don't know what she'll say. But she's really nice as a person. So the reason that you wouldn't want to go opening loops all the time and draining your energy is just because you're more beautiful the more you don't do that. And beauty is pain, and you have to be strong. And it becomes an existential statement that you don't say it's good or bad, but you just say, what do you prefer, to be beautiful or ugly? It's more painful to be beautiful. How much pain are you willing to absorb or take or transcend? And how lazy are you? And whatever answer you have is its own statement, is its own meaning. There's no extra meaning you can put on top of it. And I feel beautiful enough. I feel that if I were to have sex with someone as beautiful as me, I would be content. I'd say that's cool. I'm not mad. If I get someone as good looking as me, I'm not mad. And, I'm happy. I'll introduce them to my friends and family. And I won't be embarrassed. Like, oh, here's some weird freak I have to hide. I'll be like, this is the person who I really like. And so, I'm cool like that. But I don't have anyone with me. Maybe because I like peace and I like being treated with respect. So that's why I'm single. Or maybe because I'm just jacking off all the time and I have no energy and I'm not even hungry for it. I've never went more than 89 days not jacking off since I started. And, I'm sure there are phases, after a week you say it means something different now. After a month, you go, now it means again and again. I'm sure there are phases that I would have come to and said, now I really see what the addiction was. I see the fullness of this monster or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be moral here. Well, anyways. I don't know what to do. I don't want to eat anything. But, But we have red Thai curry. We have green Thai curry. Yeah, I do want to eat something. That's the thing. I don't feel like eating. I'm not hungry. I feel like not eating. But now that I just thought of this green Thai curry, whoa. And I'm eating it with vegetables. I have 2 sausages left. You could put sausages in that. The Italian and the Thai, it might clash. The fennel, and I don't know if it'll work good. Italian sausage and green Thai curry. I don't know if it will work good. But it might. But, you know, I could use those sausages for hash browns, which are better. And the thing is, if you just put zucchini, do you want to cook with me? If you just put zucchini and